Get ready for a mind-blowing fact about ancient China. The tomb of Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor who unified the country over 2,000 years ago, is still a mystery. Located in Lintong district near Xi'an, Shaanxi, this massive tomb is like Fort Knox, protected by an army of 8,000 life-sized terracotta warriors. But what's really keeping archaeologists on high alert? Well, it's the rumors of deadly booby traps set up by Qin Shi Huang himself. According to ancient historian Sima Qian, the emperor was so paranoid about intruders that he allegedly rigged his tomb with crossbows and arrows. And if that wasn't enough, he even used toxic mercury to create fake rivers and seas inside the tomb. Talk about an emperor's obsession with grandeur and security. This chilling history is why the actual tomb remains untouched, leaving us all wondering what secrets lie hidden beneath the surface. You won't believe what's been happening at Qin Shi Huang's tomb. It's like a toxic time capsule. For centuries, historians thought the ancient accounts of mercury being used inside the tomb were just myths, but a 2020 study blew the theory wide open. They found shockingly high levels of mercury near the emperor's final resting place. Now, experts are convinced that over time, volatile mercury has been seeping out through tiny cracks in the tomb walls. Proof that it remains untouched and unlooted to this day. This incredible fact makes Qin Shi Huang's tomb one of the last sealed tombs on Earth. But what drove the emperor to use mercury in his quest for immortality? Rumor has it, he was totally obsessed with the stuff. So much so, he even drank it in a crazy bid to cheat death. Unfortunately, mercury is no magic potion for eternal life, it's actually super poisonous. Here's the scoop on Qin Shi Huang's tomb and its eerie connection to his own demise. He might have even met his maker due to mercury poisoning from drinking wine laced with it. Now, let's talk about why archaeologists are being super careful around this site. The Terracotta Army and Qin Shi Huang's complex are both UNESCO World Heritage Sites, meaning they're incredibly important historical discoveries that could be easily damaged if not handled just right. It all started back in 1974 when some farmers in China stumbled upon a tiny piece of clay. Little did they know, this was the start of something huge. As they dug deeper, they found more and more fragments of these life-sized terracotta soldiers, until they realized there were thousands of them buried beneath that ordinary-looking field. Get ready for an epic tale. China's Terracotta Army is a jaw-dropping sight. Thousands of life-sized clay warriors, horses, acrobats, officials, and even animals came to life right before our eyes as farmers uncovered this treasure in 1974. These magnificent figures were handcrafted to guard Qin Shi Huang's mausoleum, the emperor's final resting place for over 2,000 years. But here's the fascinating part. Despite all the exploration around it, the emperor's tomb remains a mystery, sealed tight and waiting to share its secrets. The reason is not just about booby traps or ancient security systems, but also because scientists are worried that opening this tomb could damage the historical site beyond repair. Let's remember what happened at Troy back in the 1870s. Heinrich Schliemann rushed his excavation process, and it was a total disaster. We don't want history to repeat itself, do we? Let's talk about the challenges of uncovering the secrets within China's mysterious mausoleum. After some major mishaps in the past, scientists have learned their lesson and want to approach this excavation with care. They're suggesting super cool, non-destructive methods like using muons, tiny subatomic particles that can act as advanced X-rays without damaging the tomb. But it seems this technique still needs more support from experts. Not to forget, we've got the immediate danger of potentially triggering booby traps and the presence of mercury, which only adds to the puzzle's allure. For now, Qin Shi Huang's tomb remains sealed, keeping its secrets locked away for centuries, just waiting for us to figure out how to uncover them safely. Fast forward to today. While we can't get inside Qin Shi Huang's tomb just yet, archaeologists are getting closer. They're expanding their excavations at the mausoleum, which is like an ancient time capsule built over 2,000 years ago. But before we dive into what's inside, let's set the stage. Qin Shi Huang was a game-changer in Chinese history, uniting warring states and creating the largest empire in the Far East back in the 3rd century BC. His dynasty, known as the Qin, left an incredible legacy with its powerful military, booming economy, and groundbreaking innovations. However, after his untimely death in 221 BC, the empire's success was short-lived, and it all came crashing down really quickly. Here's the scoop. Qin Shi Huang had this massive vision for his afterlife, and he spared no expense in making it happen. He started working on his epic tomb when he was just a teenager, and it took an army of workers to bring it to life. This incredible project became a labor of love, and even though tourists flock to see it today, the inside remains a total mystery. If the stories are true, we're talking about treasures and opulence that would make all other ancient tombs jealous. Think lavish decorations, priceless artifacts, and who knows what else. The tomb is nestled 35 kilometers east of Xi'an, right between the majestic Lishan Mountains to the south and the mighty Wei River to the north. And get this, according to traditional Chinese geomancy, the area around the tomb actually forms a dragon shape, with Qin Shi Huang's imperial resting place situated smack in the center, at the heart of the dragon's eye. Let's zoom in on the real deal. Li Mountain itself is a beast, covering around a square mile, and it's about the same size as the Great Pyramid of Giza. But don't let its size fool you. We're not just talking about a mountain here, we're talking about an entire underground city that Qin Shi Huang envisioned for his afterlife. He wanted to make sure his resting place was fit for a king, so he transformed the area around Li Mountain into a massive complex, with above-ground and below-ground structures spanning several kilometers wide. And get ready for this, the emperor even brought in the A-team to defend it, thousands of life-sized terracotta warriors. These incredible soldiers were discovered by farmers drilling a well near Xi'an back in 1974, and they're widely regarded as one of the most epic archaeological finds of all time. Here's the rewritten paragraph, get this. We're talking about an army of over 8,000 life-sized terracotta soldiers, chariots, horses, officials, acrobats, strongmen, and musicians that Qin Shi Huang wanted guarding his underground city. Some have been damaged or even looted over time, but these incredible statues still give us a mind-blowing look at the sheer scale and genius of the first emperor's afterlife complex. When a few select pieces traveled to London for a special exhibit from 2007 to 2008, the British Museum saw its most record-breaking attendance ever, even beating out the legendary Tutankhamun show in '72. Since the terracotta warriors were unearthed, archaeologists have been digging deeper into the area between them and Qin Shi Huang's tomb. What they found is nothing short of astonishing. A network of 180 sites with miniature offices, towers, walls, gardens, lakes, animals, performers, and decorations that all come together to form an entire replica world connected to his final rest. It's clear that this ambitious emperor wanted it all in the afterlife, even going as far as seeking immortality through unconventional means. Here's the rewritten paragraph. Imagine an underground world where artisans' hand carved a massive map of the entire Qin kingdom onto the floor, created a dazzling starry night effect on the ceiling using precious jewels, and even simulated rivers and oceans with liquid mercury, believed to have magic life-preserving powers back then. Unfortunately, we might never know for sure what's inside Qin Shi Huang's tomb, since it remains sealed to this day. Our main clue comes from an ancient text called the Qi, or Records of the Grand Historian, penned by Sima Qian during the Han Dynasty about a century after the emperor's demise. This historical account paints a picture that sounds almost too fantastical to be true. 700,000 workers allegedly toiled for years to create a space filled with thousands of bronze treasures, all while artisans worked tirelessly to bring the emperor's vision to life with stunning details and effects. Let's dive into the mind-blowing details. Artisans supposedly created an epic underwater effect inside the tomb by flowing liquid mercury through rivers and oceans, even using a special mechanism to keep it circulating. But here's the jaw-dropping part. With all the resources at his fingertips, could Qin Shi Huang have really pulled off such an extravagant tomb? We're talking tens of thousands of tons of precious mercury ore. That's a staggering amount. While we can't confirm Sima Qian's account for sure, since the tomb remains sealed, modern archaeologists are using cutting-edge techniques to piece together what might be inside. But one thing's for certain. Experts are nervous about venturing in due to rumors of deadly booby traps and treacherous security systems intricately designed to protect the first emperor's final rest. You're right on the edge of your seat. While the fear of booby traps and damage is a big reason to keep Qin Shi Huang's tomb closed, it's actually the delicate nature of its contents that's the main concern. I mean, remember what happened with King Tut's tomb when treasure hunters got their hands on it? The team led by Chinese archaeologist Duan Qingbo took a more subtle approach in 2005, using cool tech like ground-penetrating radar and electrical resistance measurements to create a mind-blowing CGI image of the inside. And what did they find? A massive, hermetically sealed space the size of a football pitch, perfect for an emperor's final resting place. But here's where it gets really interesting. They analyzed over 4,000 core samples for mercury vapor to see if Sima Qian's account of those famous flowing rivers was true. And guess what? The results showed off the chart's levels of mercury, especially in the burial chamber area. That's some seriously convincing evidence. Imagine being one of the thousands of workers who labored day and night to build Qin Shi Huang's epic mausoleum, only to meet an untimely end at the emperor's hand. The rumors are true. Historical records suggest that each worker was executed, often by being buried alive within the very earth they helped shape. This brutal secret-keeping method raises a haunting question. Should we uncover the tomb and risk disrespecting the memory of those who paid the ultimate price? While it's undeniable that the mausoleum holds many mysteries and treasures, the dark legacy of Qin Shi Huang's regime makes some wonder if it's time to leave these workers in peace. But as technology continues to advance, one thing's for sure, we'll soon have an unfiltered look at what lies within. So, when can we finally uncover the secrets of Qin Shi Huang's mysterious